Hey, 1065 here, and here's another repair I just got done doing. This is a 3rd gen white V2 that I repaired and sold to Parker. This V2 actually has an interesting story behind it, along with a few other robots I'll be working on soon. So, also sorry for my sniffling, I'm a little bit under the weather, but also because of freaking allergies. I hate the pollen so much. Anyways, so this V2 originally belonged to my friend Dante. If you guys remember, approximately next month would have been 5 years ago that I serviced this robot back when I lived in Virginia. My friend Dante had multiple V2s. He had blue one, he had black, he had this white one, and he had a yellowed white. And so this is one he bought off eBay, and it had a broken leg, and it needed just a lot of help. So when I received it the first time, fixed the hips, replaced the hip caps because I think that's what was broken. Fixed the neck, fixed a lot of things in this thing, and it was fine. It used to be a lot more white, but I'll get to this next part here in a bit. And eventually, he had to pretty much get rid of all the stuff he had in the storage unit due to the fact that the prices for it were starting to like raise up to the point that it was like ridiculous. So he tried selling these in the group and no one bought them to my surprise. So I messaged him and he said I could have them if I paid shipping. So I paid shipping for the first two, this one and a yellowed white V2 first gen, first or second gen, whichever. And of course that one is just parts. This one here needed work again. I forgot to mention this one originally did have a back cover missing. So his issues were around the mids his hip gearbox. The frame of it, the screw holders broke. So if you were to move the robot by hand, you could see the cover just move like open and close, and that was not a good thing. So I replaced it with another one from an older model, and I put the original 3rd gen hip caps and everything, and then I noticed the hip cap with the positioning sensor notch was not making contact with the whatchamacallit, with the sensor itself, like it wouldn't go into the D-shaped hole. So I was like, okay, what's going on? And then I realized that the little thing that holds that sensor in place, it's thicker than the original 3rd gen. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I had to pretty much give him original V2 parts and swap out the leg pulls so it would work. It works, but occasionally if he's bending too far down or back, he makes like a scratching sound. And there's nothing much I can do about it because I mean, it's older lower frame with older hip caps, but they should work fine. It's just that on this side here, it does have damage, which isn't really too noticeable when he's like just standing upright like this. But other than that, I've replaced all that, redid the neck, cleaned him up nicely, and he just looks good. I sold him really cheap to Parker. I mean, it's yellowed here, but it's not gonna break. I think Dante actually had this close to a window at one point, which is why it's discolored there. Because I recall this thing actually being 100% white 5 years ago, but then again, things change. And of course, he does have his original tag from when I first serviced it, 4/19/2020. So now I'm gonna make another tag or sticker that has yesterday's date, because that's practically when I finished it. But yes, without further ado, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. The deal that I made with Parker was I sold him for a price, and in return, for two of his junk V2s, he had two yellowed white V2s. Originally, he wanted me to fix one of those, but given the shape the shells were in, I was like, you know what? I'll just sell you this at a discount if you also give me the two junk V2s, and he agreed. So here we are.
Self-diagnostic.
I also have to fix the eye on this because, as what happens with 3rd gens, eye wires tend to get loose at times.
Understood. I hope nobody saw that.
As I mentioned, he works phenomenal. neck and everything works. So really happy about that. Walking works fine as it should.
Stopping.
And now let me see if I can actually show
Shut down.
that little odd noise he tends to make. It
Sonic
doesn't
sensors shut down.
it doesn't interfere with him, and I made sure that he's able to do this with no issue. That was a spring right there, just kind of moving. Oh, that's a spring again. Yeah, my batteries are not the best. So there's nothing in the hips breaking, it's just that spring catching on to something. I'm not sure exactly what it's catching on to. But as I mentioned, it doesn't interfere with them. It's just that the spring, I think the springs on these older models, the outer bits are a bit longer than what the third gens have. So that's probably why it's catching. Originally, one of the gears was catching on the hip, so I had to trim down a little bit of the plastic on the inside, which helped a lot because originally it was just making like a loud clicking noise because it was interfering with it. But now he's fine. It's just that low noise, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. It doesn't affect them, but he's good as new. Not looking new, but clean him up, looks way better than he did before. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, if anyone has any robots that want servicing of any kind, just hit me up at 0787860 at gmail.com. And something I want to mention, for anyone who sees my repair services on eBay, if you see them on there, email me first before buying on there. I usually have that. The main reason why I have that stuff like that, I think it's for kind of a little bit like international, but I prefer doing my repairs outside of eBay just so there's no taxes, no fees whatsoever for me or the client that wants a robot fix. And PayPal is just the easiest thing to do. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you on the next one.